Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. My name is Muhammad Fikri bin Abdul Ghaffar and today I will be your moderator for this forum. For this forum, we're gonna have 4 panels, which is Nur Shafika binti Amiruddin for our first panel. For second panel, we have Nur Aina Akmal bin Samsul Bahri. Also, we have Nur Liliana Izati binti Basir. And for our last panel is Nur Faridatul binti Raimi. Today, we will discuss about accounting fraud and the case of Group Berhad. Without wasting our time, let's start our forum. For the first question, I would like to ask Ms. Shafika about accounting fraud.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So, based on the research that I have made, accounting fraud may be defined as an intentional mispresentation of financial statement in order to create an illusion of organization financial performance. It may be committed by the employee, the accountant, or the organization itself. A company or an individual can commit accounting fraud by falsifying their financial statement. For example, overstating their revenue, misstating their assets and liabilities, or do not record their expenses. For example, in the case of WorldCom, which is a broadcast communication company in 2002, has been discovered increasing their asset amount 11 billion. Therefore, accounting fraud is also known as white-collar crime. A person who are found guilty of committing accounting fraud will be responsible for the punishment such as imprisonment and confinement. There must be a big question why an individual or a company still committing accounting fraud, even it is an illegal action and will be responsible for the punishment. The answer is because they want to misleading the stakeholders, have a good financial and get away from the debt. As the cases of accounting fraud are increasing from year by year, it is important for us to know how to prevent it from occurring. So, here I have a few ideas on how to prevent accounting fraud from occurring, which is, firstly, the company must have segregation of financial duties. Secondly, the company must have an adequate documentation, and it is a must for the company to have annual examination of financial statement from the third party, which is independent. Therefore, I think that's all from me about accounting fraud, and I give back to Mr. Moderator.
Can you explain to me the term cook the book, Ms. Shafika?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So, as we know, nowadays a lot of people start using the term cook the books. Cook the book brings meaning of manipulating of financial accounting in order to make the company's financial look in a way better than the real it is. It may also considered as fraudulent financial accounting because it involves manipulating of financial data such as increase in revenue, delaying expenses, and off-balance sheet item in order to inflate the company's revenue and deflate the company's expenses. Now, let me give the example case of Cook the Book, which is Tesco. As everyone knows, Tesco is Britain's biggest convenience store and top 3 retailers by sale in the world. However, Tesco revenue had decreased due to development in business, changes in organization executive, and many more. In 2013 and 2014, Tesco discovered that its stock value had decreased by 50%. And in October 2014, Richard Broadbent, the chairman of Tesco, has announced his resignation. Broadbent left the company when there is an internal examination about the company profit. Tesco detailed that it has overstated its revenue by 263 billion. Other than that, Tesco also expressed the inconsistency came from the book pay of supplier, which is too quick. So, based on what is happening, the Tisco Finance Director, Managing Director, and Food Commercial Director were charged under mispresentation by misuse of power and manipulating financial statements. However, in order to avoid criminal allegation, Tisco agreed with SFO to pay punishment about 129 billion. This case is almost similar with the case of Transmart Group Berhad, which is occurred in Malaysia. Transmart Group Berhad is a company which is providing air transportation service. This company has been discovered overstating their revenue by 500 billion ringgit Malaysia in 2005 and 2006. Clearly show that the Transmart Group Berhad is also cooking the book. And it was being detected when Transmart Group Berhad is not able to submit their audited account before 30 April of the year, as their external auditor did not want to sign a statement which illustrates the account showed a true and fair view of a company performance. After 10 years of trial, the founder and former chief executive of Transmart Group Berhad, Gan Boon An, were charged with fine not more than 1 billion ringgit and up to 10 years prison if he is found guilty. In conclusion, cook the book does not bring any benefit but bring more burden to the company and individual.
Next question, I gonna ask Miss Aina. Miss Aina, can you explain to me how the fraud was perpetrated and concealed?
Thank you to the Mr. Moderator. So in February 2007, Audit Committee has highlighted several serious accounting issues that was alerted by the external auditor, which is Deloitte and Touch, in Transmart Financial Report. However, those issues was not brought up in the board meeting, and the Audit Committee went ahead to seek the approval of the board to release the unaudited annual account. Finally, the board had approved an audited result that showed 80% increase in the revenue, which is double net profit, and significantly increase in trade receivable, and the result is released to the Bursa Malaysia. 2 months after that, which is in April 2007, Transmart failed to meet the deadline in submitting its audited annual account for the financial year end 31st December of 2006 to Stock Exchange for the public release. It then applies to Bursa Malaysia to postpone the release of the audit account. On the 3rd of May 2007, the application rejected by the Bursa Malaysia. And the day after that, Deloitte highlighted the issue via letter to Board of Directors that it did not want to sign the annual account for lacking of certain supporting document and necessary evidence for the transaction related to the trade receivable and the sales and purchase property, plant and equipment in company and subsidiaries. On 7 May 2007, Board of Directors appointed a forensic auditor, which is Morse Rowland Risk Management, to conduct a special audit of the company account and its subsidiaries. And at the end of the May, Morse Rowland interim finding is announced in Bursa Malaysia. After that, on 16 June of 2007, final report of special audit is announced to Bursa Malaysia. The revenue has overstated by a total of RM622 million for consecutive financial year from 2004 to 2006, and there was a little supporting documentation for the transaction with cash flow of RM341 million for the property, plant and equipment. Besides, the Transmart had made a payment of RM189 million without supporting payment vouchers. It is recommended a review of the billing of sales to CNN Worldwide SDN BHT, which is a regular customer and also 37.5% direct associated company and the trade receivable owned. On 19 June of 2007, the newly appointed director lodged a report with the police and the Security Commission regarding the false statements and the document on the revenue, property, plant and equipment, and payment to third parties. On 3rd March of 2011, trade of Transmart was suspended from Bursa Malaysia due to its failure to submit the regulation plan to Security Commission and Bursa Malaysia for approval by the 22 February. And on 24th May 2011, the company is officially delisted from the Security Exchange.
And Miss Aina, who is whistleblower?
The whistleblower of the Transmart is Deloitte and Touch. This happened when Deloitte and Touch was not agreed to sign a company annual account as it was lacking of certain evidence and documents That is when the external auditor appoint the issue to the audit committee. However, at that time, the audit committee was Chin Kum Feng, the head of the auditor committee, along with Shakri bin Sheikh Abdul Tawab and Qudin bin Muhammad Bidin, which is an executive director of Transmile. As Deloitte and Touch has the discussion about the issue, the audit committee went ahead to seek consideration of the board of directors to release an audited annual account. The audit committee does not bring the issue in the board meeting, and due to this, the BOD has approved an audited result, which is 80% increase in their revenue. After several days, Deloitte and Touch sent a letter about After several days, Deloitte and Touch sent a letter regarding to the issue directly to the board of directors that they did not want to sign the annual account as it was lack of evidence and document. From that, the board of directors assigned the forensic auditor, which is Morse Rowland Risk Management Sendirian Berhad, to do a special audit on the company.
Thank you, Miss Aina, for perfect explanation. I would like to ask Miss Liana for the third question in our forum. Can you explain the detail about the pressure, opportunity, and rationalization of those perpetrating the fraud?
Thank you to our moderator, Mr. Fikri. My name is Nuriana Izzati binti Basir, and I will explain about the pressure, opportunity, and the rationalization of the fraud perpetrators. There are two types of fraud in auditing, which are fraudulent financial reporting and also misappropriation of assets. For Transmile Group Berhad, the type of fraud that occurs is fraudulent financial reporting, which is done by the higher level management where they intentionally mistake their income in the financial statement. Fraud triangle is the theory that is usually used in auditing in order to find out the motive for someone to commit fraud. The fraud triangle consists of incentive or pressure, opportunity, and rationalization, where these are the conditions for fraud that arise in a company. Firstly, incentive or pressure. Incentive or pressure means that the management or the employees of a company have the incentive or mindset to create the fraud. They often facing some pressure to achieve their goals for their own benefit, which cause them to be the fraud perpetrator. There are some examples of risk factor for incentive. One of the example is the situation of the external environment is threatening the survival of the business by affecting the profitability and the financial stability of the business, such as decreasing in amount of demand from the consumers or high competition in the industries. The management also need to keep up with the stakeholders' expectation in order to protect their own business, and they also need to gain more money for their own personal satisfaction, where both of these factors can be affected by the company's financial performance, which may cause them to commit fraud in order to reach their expectation. Next, I will explain about the opportunities. For the opportunities, the management or the employees are facing certain circumstances that give them the chances to commit fraud. These opportunities always happen when the perpetrators feels that the possibility for them to get caught is very low. For instance, usually the inventory tend to be used by the perpetrator in order to commit fraud, as a lot of companies nowadays have different type of inventories based on their product, and they tend to have a lot of warehouse, so it is very hard to detect if there is any inventory valuation misstatement due to massive amount of inventories, which shows that the valuation is very hard to verify due to uncertainties, and certain circumstances will be used as an opportunity to create fraud. Lastly, I will explain about attitude or rationalization. Attitude or rationalization means that the management or employees have the attitude which allow them to do fraud and cause them to rationalize committing unethical behavior. The perpetrator is able to justify their crime by telling themselves that what they did is not that big of a deal. There are a few risk factors for rationalization, such as the individual have past history related to violation of law and regulation, so the chances for the individual to repeat the same unethical act is high, as the person is able to justify their own wrongdoing in a positive way. In my opinion, according to the fraud triangle theory, which is the pressure, opportunity, and rationalization, the Transmart Group Berhad fraud perpetrators commit the unethical act due to incentive or pressure. The CEO of Transmart Group Berhad, Gan Bun On, had overstated the company's revenue in order to show that the performance of the company is equivalent to the market expectation, when actually it does not meet the expectation at all. Gan had fabricated 20 sales transactions with Cool's customer to increase the company's revenue, where he had made arrangement to show as if the payment are genuine for the service given when actually there is no interaction at all. Other than that, the Transmart Group Berhad perpetrators also commit the fraud because they saw the opportunity to the improper act without being caught. The opportunity arises because there is incompetency of the board of directors and audit committees who carelessly approve the unaudited financial report due to the influence from the audit committee, as the person in charge of the audit committee of Transmart Group Berhad, Shukri Syed Abdul Tawab, and also Jimmy Chin, who are also the independent directors of the company, had allowed the preparation of misstated financial report. The external auditor has highlighted a few issues related to the company statement, and the auditor refused to sign the account due to insufficient evidence, but the audit committee failed to state the issues during the meeting with the board of directors in order to cover their unethical act. Thus, we can see the relation of the fraud triangle theory with the occurrence of fraud in the Transmart Group Berhad. There are a lot of risk factors that cause an individual to commit fraud. So, action should be taken in order to prevent the fraud from happening in a company by taking into consideration of all the factors. That's all that I can conclude about the pressure, opportunity, and also rationalization of the fraud perpetrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Liana. I gonna ask the last question before we close this forum. And this question, I would like Miss Faridatul to answer this question. My question is, what the effects or penalty will happens to auditor, the company, management, shareholder, and other relevant parties?
Thank you to the moderator. So my name is Nur Fadatul, and today I will talk about consequences. There were several parties that got affected by this case, which is company, perpetrator, auditor, management, and lastly is investors. Okay, for the first parties is company. Why company got affected by this case? It is because all the infringement that made by the perpetrator give a huge effect on the business. Among them, due to company's exposure to inquiries and prosecution seeking authorities, the company experiences loss and harm. The opportunity to make more money is reduced and also they lose their reputation. Other than that, Transmart Group Berhad potential business prospect also reduced. Next is consequence to perpetrator. In this case, there are three perpetrators, which is Gan Bun Aun, Loh Chok Pin, and Hudin Muhammad. Those three people were top management at Transmart Group Berhad. They have been accused and agreed to go to tribunal. Because of making false financial statement, they were investigated by court. Loh Chok Pin and Hudin Muhammad were charged by Securities Commission Malaysia for compound RM700,000 and discharged. But for Gan, the case lasted until 10 years, and after 10 years, court agreed to fine $1 million to Gan and jail 10 years or more. For the employees or management, the consequence is the company staff may be concerned about the case involving the fraud of financial statements. As we know, Transmart Group Berhad faced several losses. Other than that, shares are falling as well. Because of this case, the right of employees being abused. Their revenues and operating costs drop until 1%. Next is consequence to auditor. For Transmart Group Berhad, the external auditor is Deloitte and Touch. As Deloitte and Touch refused to accept the annual report due to lack of some supporting documents, this matter became worse and they were unable to obtain the necessary assisting management documentation. The effect on the auditor in this situation is that the auditor's credibility has been impacted. Before this, the credibility Deloitte and Touch damaged because of Nationcom Holdings and Ocean Capital Berhad reprimand for reporting inflationary sales estimates. Lastly is shareholder. Transmile Group Berhad is big company. Same goes to their investor. They are reverberating shockwave sent to all public expenditure of Transmile Berhad because of this accounting scandal. This is because the actual shares was generally around RM40 ringgit, but the share decreased around RM8 ringgit. Investors have lost their trust to the company when the share of price was declined. So that's all for consequences.
Before we close this forum, I would like to make the conclusion about all the information that we got from this forum. There was many effect that the benefit from doing something that is not on the right path. We must responsibility on our job and stay away from doing fraud. As we know, fraud was manipulation or mispresentation of financial statement of the transaction, event, or other important information. The effect was other auditor or management that has been in charge of the account will be under pressure and innocent people will blame on doing fraud. Moreover, the company will lose significantly when the fraud has been exposed, and also possibility the company will bankrupt. As we know, annual report was the information or data about the company vision and the achievement that the company got from the past year also included about financial achievement. All the important information as included on the annual report, and if annual report been published to public and the fraud has been detected, the reputation of the company will be bring down the company. Also, market price of share will bearish, such as Transmile was suspended from Bursa Malaysia because they has been detected doing fraud from the evidence that has been found when forensic auditor be appointed to investigate their annual report. And this case took 5 years of investigation. Company must prevent any fraud on the account and must audit every certain time and set the strict regulation. Other than that, shareholder must take responsibility to take action when something that has been wrong on the company and discuss any important thing when meeting with board of director. And company can be safe before late. Every company has whistleblower, which is great for company and can help company prevent anything bad from happening. Next, person who report it to the authorized department must be disclose their identity. We hope, because it will become danger to that person or their family. Last but not least, we hope that the company can prevent all the fraud from happening, because if we can prevent early, it was possible that the fraud can never exist. Also, we hope company can protect the whistleblower from any danger, because they has been great to the company. Thank you for listening our forum.